Hello. Hi, friends. We're here at the bookstore on a mission from my editor. We're also gonna talk some witchy things you can do at the bookstore. Might show off some of my favorite books. Probably gonna buy a bunch of books. How many books do you guys think I'm gonna buy?
5. 4.
We'll see. My mission from my editor, she wants my inspiration for my book cover. And so I have been tasked with finding book covers I like. And she told me it could be any genre. So that's why we're here. See, I really like the classic romance covers, the bright colors. I'm into that. These are not quite my favorite. I like this. How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days. We're buying this. This reminds me of like a video game cover. Did you ever play the Barbie games? No. There was like a Barbie, oh God, it was like Barbie theme park. It was terrifying. There was like this hooded figure that would like sneak around in the background and you had to catch them. I dig the colors on this one. This is like kind of the color scheme we're going for. Well, let's enter. They have the new book. I just finished the second one in the series. It was great. Oh, they have a whole fourth wing section. This is very exciting. It's very exciting. Dragonfire try. Dragon. Dragon backpack. Dragon backpack. Wingspan matters. It does. Oh, it's Andorra. It's so cute. Let's go to the witchy section. Oh, book sale. See? Okay. All right. I love the sprayed edges. I want sprayed edges. I don't even care what this book is about, and I want it. See, okay, this is the perfect example of what I like in book covers. I like the words to be the star of the show. I like some sort of illustrative framing, and I like the side of it to be just as interesting as the front. If I buy all these today, these are write-offs, right? This is a perfect task for me because I literally judge books by covers, and none of these covers are speaking to me. This, like, it's the color scheme, you know? Just pops. Bam! Oh, this one's such a better edge. Okay, I just bought this book at Walmart, and it has a different edge, and I like this edge better. I like the symmetry. It's framed in. I like that. This color scheme. This is the color scheme. This is the color scheme. Look at the edges. Look at those edges. Oh my God, it's beautiful. See, okay, I read this book, didn't love it, but I love these covers. Everyone loves this book, but I've DNF'd it twice. Twice. Can't get into it. I don't know what's wrong with me. This is the color scheme. I'm telling you. Not a lot of witchy books in this color scheme. Something I learned about publishing is, this is the vibe I like, where it's like illustrations, framing. The author actually doesn't get to pick their cover. They have like a whole design team that develops it. That's why a lot of you can tell what genre a book is from the cover. That's why. So I'm very fortunate that my editor is letting me even provide some inspiration. I have no idea how much control I have over it, but so far she's given me a lot of control in the process, so don't know. I like this cover. See, I like texture in the cover. You see how it's got like kind of that cloudy texture? I don't like that one. I can't tell you why, but I don't like it. See, this is the vibe. See, like framed in with illustration. Not exactly like this style of illustration, but kind of that layout. I don't like this style where it's just like one color, although it is fun that it's shiny. A lot of these are not speaking to me like this, but like my illustrations would be more whimsical just because that's like how the illustrations are in the book. I love this. This is like kind of the vibe, except like instead of these like astrological picture like dust bunnies and tigers and laundry. My whole thing with the illustrations is like they're so whimsical and over the top because I want you to see like a laundry pile that is so piled up it's like comically high. Like I think we even have it like kind of curving over like the Grinch's house. because I want you to be able to look at that and be like, oh, like my laundry isn't that bad. Instead of the prettiness, it would be like trash. Like banana peels and like, you know, dirty dishes and like a toothbrush and like dust bunnies and stuff like that. So I don't want it to feel pretty, but I also want it to feel pretty, you know? That's the balance. Actually, I don't see any books that I would like recommend here. Like, where are all the books that I've read? I don't even have these decks. Am I not cool? Am I not with it? Am I not skippity toilet? Judy Hall, great crystal author. If you're looking for a crystal book, Judy Hall, Krista Mitchell. Oh, my favorite deck ever. This is literally, like, you think this is a joke. I bought this as a joke. I'm a big Britney Spears fan, like huge. Like my AOL screen name was Mini Brit Girl with X's on each side. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. And so I bought this as a joke, but it genuinely has the most deep readings, like the most resonant readings when I read it. I don't think I have, oh, there's an Edgar Allan Poe tarot. I love Edgar Allan Poe. It's a write-off. You just write it off. Look how tiny this one is. It's so cute. Look at it. I actually can't read this without my glasses. That one's cute. I like how it kind of has the frame of the illustrations. But again, like whimsical, like this would be a pile of trash. And then we have like a theme of dust bunnies. Like we have dust bunnies that, I don't want to spoil it, but the dust bunnies are like the star of the show. Instead of the little birds, the dust bunnies. I'll show you a sneak peek. This would curve up the page and just like bring that whimsy to it. I said like, I want the dust bunnies to be like under the couch plotting an attack on the house. And so these are our dust bunnies under the couch with the chips and the safety pins and whatever to introduce the living room chapter. And then I just fell in love with the dust bunnies. And so they just became a through line of everything. So like in the bathroom sketch, there's a dust bunny wearing a robe.
So cute.
It's so cute. Or like a dust bunny looking in the mirror. So every chapter gets a dust bunny now. So I'm thinking like dust bunnies have to be on the cover, right? I don't want to be on the cover. That's a clear, it's a no from me. Yeah, I feel like these are all like too dark, but not like fluorescent, like this is too bright, you know? So this is what they call paper overboard. So it's a hard cover, but it doesn't have a jacket, and that's what my book is gonna be. Versus this is a hard cover with a jacket. So picture this style, paper overboard. That is, I learned that term. I was like, yes, that's exactly what I want for my book, paper overboard. I like this. I like the texture of the bubbles. I like the color. I like that it stands out. I'm like such a stickler for like how the pages feel because I want you to be able to write in it. There's like some journaly type, like a chore chart you can fill out. Like this is not a good feel. I want it to be like more, yeah, like this, like white, but you can write on it.
Okay, I feel.
Okay, we're gonna do an intuition exercise I've talked about on the podcast. And I love to do it in bookstores because there's just so many options. But it's essentially like a task of not testing your intuition, but learning how to trust it. I'm gonna find a book for Joe, who doesn't read, who wants to get into reading. And we're gonna use my intuition to find the perfect book to get her into reading. And so the first thing that I do, and this is great if you're like picking a gift for someone, I do this in crystal shops, do it in Target, do it in bookstores. We're just gonna stand and connect with Joe's energy. So I'm just imagining Joe's with me, so that makes it easier. But I'm just gonna ask the question of like, okay, what does Joe need to read? And I'm standing this way because I can make the choice of right or left. And so I'm just gonna tune into how my legs feel. I'm just gonna follow the way that I am guided. So every time you come to like a standstill, you do that check-in. Which way do I feel guided? That way or that way? Do you know that feeling when you're in like following someone in a crowd and you're kind of like tracking with them, even though there's like other sounds and noises and things like that? That's kind of what it feels like to me But sometimes it might feel like you're following a light, or for some people they'll hear like go forward, this shelf, left, right. I think of it, I always compare it to like how you choose your apples. So like if you were someone who picks up the apple and holds it versus someone who's just like, oh, that's the apple, versus someone who like really spends some time looking for it. It's kind of that same vibe. Okay, so I'm immediately drawn to this one. So I'm just gonna sit with it for a second, see if, is this Joe's book? And what I'm feeling is like a pull this way. So we're gonna keep going. These are all really good. All of them. All of them. This one takes place in Maine. That book really does not want to come home with me. This feels like the table. Ow. Okay, I'm like drawn to this series. That's book 3. That's book 2. That's book 1. I'm not drawn to book 1. But book 3 I'm really drawn to for you. And I don't want to kickstart you in the middle of a series, but just remember this. If this is on Joe's Goodreads in a year. Ooh. I think this is also not the first one in a series, no. Joe, why do you want the 3rd book in a series so bad? All right, okay. No. I just keep getting drawn back to this one, and I don't know why. Maybe is there like one underneath it? There's definitely something here. Maybe it's this one. That's book 3. Why? What does 3 mean to you? I don't know. There's like something. I'm just gonna hold that and we're just gonna keep going. I feel like immediately drawn away from the romance section, which is how I know I'm working with Joe's energy, not mine. Like I feel like the opposite of a magnetic pull. Okay, it feels like more of like a contemporary fiction. Feels like, ooh, is this Joe's book? Or am I just drawn to it because it says Joe on it?
Great question.
All right, I'm just gonna hold it and feel it. There's something here. Usually the better you know a person, the easier it is, because like I have no frame of reference if Joe's like gonna like that book, but I feel the need to pick it up.
I don't know, you're gonna have to use your intuition. That's not something I would pick for myself.
Yeah, this does not, reading it doesn't feel right, but something, maybe it's on the shelf. You also don't read though, so I can't. A cat and mouse spin-off. All right, it's hard to pick for Joe. Your energy's all over the place. I know. Ooh, okay. All right.
I'm good at this.
So he said she doesn't read. And so why are we looking in the book section? No, I'm just saying. Like, what if we start over in the not book section? Maybe it's a coloring book you need. Are you against the idea of reading? I'm gonna buy a bag. It's a write-off. All right, okay, all right. Now that my hands are free. Okay, all right, I'm drawn back over here. I thought I was drawn to Frida because I love Frida. But I actually think you might love Frida. See, normally when I introduce people to Frida, I have them read one by one. But I actually feel super drawn to this one for you. It's set in Maine. I just read it. It's pretty good. How do you feel about thrillers? Have you read anything? What's going through my mind is a pull of my brain and my intuition. Because my intuition is telling me to pick up this book. But my pull is there's so many better Frida books that I think could get you into reading more. Like my brain is like, if you've never read a thriller before, I think like One by One or The Inmate or even The Housemaid is like a better intro. Like there's not a lot of like momentum in the plot. Like it's a very sticky plot in a Frida way, so it still is hard to put down, but my brain is like, oh, if I want to get her into, my intuition is like, sure. We're gonna have to trust our intuition. How do you feel about reading about a car crash in Maine that leads to a kidnapping type situation?
Sure.
All right, well, Joe, editing Joe, you gotta put in here what you think of the book.
Editor Joe here. This is Riley. I finished it in 3 days. I haven't read a book in a lot of years. So that was impressive, and I feel like I could read more books. I think that the main reason I finished this book so quickly was because I had a snow day and a long weekend because of the holiday. It was good, not the kind of book I would normally read. Will I read another thriller? Unlikely, no. I have started reading another book that it is a completely different genre, but I haven't been able to stick with it as well. So maybe I should read another thriller. But it was kind of cheesy. The plot twist at the end was stupid. Like, I hated all of the characters. There's not a single character that I really liked in here. Did it get me back into reading? Yes. It did its job. So, good job, Molly.
Since we're talking so much about Frida, I'll show you some of my favorite Frida books, one by one. This was the first book I read by her. I loved it so much. I read it cover to cover on a plane. I thought I got motion sickness reading on a plane prior to this, but I don't. And then I went directly into reading another Frida book. The Inmate, another good one. Really good. Perfect Son, okay, hit or miss. The Boyfriend, hit or miss. Housemaid series, great. Never Lie, great. The Crash, it's okay. It's okay. I think I rated it 4 stars. So, but this is like a solid 6-star read. I just read this one, and it's really good. At first you think it's not going to be good. Okay, spoiler warning. The first 50 pages you're like, we get it, she's a ballerina. But then about halfway through, he hits us with this. He's celibate. And so the main contentious point of their romance is they can't fuck. Slow burn. Sorry, I saw Astrology House and I thought, that was a really good one. I like that. Very cute. Cute. Oh, this was a good book. Funny story. You can't go wrong with Emily Henry. Can't go wrong. Banter's on point. This was one of my favorite books I read in January. If you want to see all my favorite books from last year, we have a video on that. So, all right, now we have to cull the pile before we just check out all these fucking books. See, okay. Because I'm such a Kindle girly, I have to really love a book to want to hold it when it's this thick. So I'm just thinking, do I love this book enough that I would buy it on my Kindle? Because that feels like different money than buying it in person. This one I love enough to buy it. But this one I think is gonna go. Astrology House. Yeah, that seems really up my alley. I think I'll like that one. How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 days. It's on sale, so it's basically free. Where's Molly? What is a cat and mouse spinoff? I think we're gonna buy this on the Kindle. So we're gonna get 1, 2, 3 books and a deck. It's just hard to let them go. It's like rescue dogs. It's like I wanna take them all home. Thanks. Ate and left no crumbs. Thanks for coming to the bookstore with me. If you want to see like a monthly wrap up of book favorites, if one person comments saying they want to see it, we will make it happen. But subscribe for more and look out for mundane magic in a bookstore near you.